You want this, huh?
We're on Instagram Live. We'll be loading this show with any sort of editing that we need to add underneath on Facebook and all over the place. I'd like to introduce Joe Galan, trainer, sheriff, dog handler, competition winner, working and talking to us today with the National PTSD Service Association. These dogs are not a pill, but they are a furry ball of fun, and they're not a family dog, but they are with the family for years and years and years. And you and I have been texting today or yesterday about we'll get into a little bit of training in just a second, but what we put into the dog helps the dog perform. We've been talking about raw food, texting back and forth with all the other dog handlers. You want to tell me a little bit about raw dog food and what's going on with that? Because a lot of people want to know.
Well, the raw food I find out is a lot benefit than your standard kibble. You can put in your nutritions that the dogs need without the byproducts that we are eating and all the artificial flavorings and colorings and all that stuff that causes the dog to either have allergies or health problems. I think going natural with raw, that's what they were brought up from instinct when they were, from creatures. And I think that the raw does a lot of benefit for them, muscle-wise, and health-wise, everything around. Their teeth are a lot better than eating kibble. There's not a lot of tartar buildup. So there's a lot of benefit from eating raw.
So in the
long term, it's not really more expensive than a bag of rice. I mean, a bag of kibble, but it is I think it's very helpful for the dog.
Yes,
it's all natural.
It's all natural. Long term, it's actually less expensive to keep your dog very healthy, isn't it? Because then you're not running to the vet all the time with all the weird procedures and weird wraps.
Oh yeah, and the allergies in Florida with eating raw lessens it. My friend just switched over to raw, and no more scratching and no more unhealthy skin, no ear infection. It's just benefited all the way around, and he's been fighting this battle for years. Just had it under control. And I kept telling him, go to raw. And finally, a vet told him, you need to go to raw, and it's worked out beautifully.
Isn't that fun? So anybody who's Googling out there right now have to add that hashtag so that they don't have to wait to go to their vet. They can Google, you know how some folks are, they have to Google it and look it up and hear some people talking about it.
Yeah.
And it increases the dog's performance the same way you would imagine it increases the human performance, because you and I lift a lot of weights to be able to do this. And just for general overall health, you and I also know that lifting weights helps our bone mass and our muscle mass. But if we're not putting in the right sort of protein, we're not going to be able to perform.
Exactly.
We can get injured. And I've seen this time and time again with dogs at the beginning of our process with the foundation. As soon as we switched them to raw, the dog trained faster, harder, better, because now they had the brain food that they needed.
Exactly. I totally agree with that.
And your dogs have the brain food, and you have the brains to help them start out really well. And the video I reposted yesterday, and a lot of people see this. They see the dog right next to the handler, and that's a specific competition, but it represents that the dog is listening to you. And do you want to tell me a little bit about that? Because that translates really well for service dogs and the bond between you and your service dog or dog.
When you work with raw or food with that, and you create a good bond with your dog, and when you work with them day in and out, they become part of you and part of your family, and they know what you're thinking, they know when you're upset, and it's an overall win-win situation for everybody, and they become a better dog for the household too.
So Nico is still in competition, and part of that competition, there's a time that when we're practicing, I show that Nico is right next to you, looking up at you, looking up with you, and he's very happy. His tail is wagging.
Exactly. That bond that you create with your dog, that he wants to work for you. What can I do for you, Dad? It's amazing. It's a great feeling when you have that bond with your dog.
That's what he's saying. Now, we've seen competition dogs that are doing that out of fear. So the thing that you and I know that helps a dog do it out of love and bonding, you started Nico out when he was a puppy. What age did you start working with him?
I started him at 9 weeks old, and we created a real nice bond with me feeding him by my hand, and everything came from me. So we created a real great bond that he always is looking for me. No matter where I am, he's by my side. But that's when you start, you got to have a puppy there. You got to start at an early age and create that real nice bond. And it doesn't take any much effort, just 3 or 4 minutes a day.
Yeah, 3 or 4 minutes a day. And when you're working with a dog, like when we're working with a dog and we want it to come up to speed just a little bit faster, it's like little bits of training multiple times a day.
Times a day, exactly. Exactly. Keep wanting, you want them to keep wanting more. And the more they want, the more easier it is to train, and it makes it enjoyable for everybody. Because you make it too long, they get bored.
Oh,
And we get bored.
yeah, and that's why you keep that ball there. It's a quick reward.
Exactly.
Let's come out, work. You're already awesome. Let's just have that bonding time. So a lot of you're not overworking them. You're just keeping it fun. And that was one of the greatest beginning conversations that I had with you when I first started talking to you about all of this. And that was, we got to keep it fun. I think we were out in the celery fields doing nose work. Let's touch on that just a little bit because that's another fun thing that people can do at home, even with their tiny little dog. Nose work, right?
Oh, it's fun. Just just go outside, put a couple treats outside, and let them look for it. And get them stimulated, their brain stimulated, and you can see them smelling, you can hear them smelling, looking for that food, and they're thinking, "Oh my God, there's food here," and it creates a real nice atmosphere for the dog because he's always thinking. Use your mind, so it's really nice.
It wears them out
Dogs love it.
Yeah, in like a physical exhausted way, more than they could ever be worn out from running around the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is your next competition coming up that you're getting ready for?
Well, my next competition won't be until the fall. He'll be going for his IPO1. So either here in Florida or we'll be moving up north.
There you go. And so for people who want to plug in to the great training opportunity when you're in Sarasota, because the National PTSD serves this Gulf Coast area, this mostly Sarasota and Manatee County. And we do work with folks in Hillsborough and Charlotte. But we have people that drive up from Lee County to work with you. When next can they plug in with you?
Well, I'll be there next Sunday
And
at 8:30. They're more than welcome to come and join. Just give me a call or they can call you.
they can find you on Facebook, can't they?
Yes.
And they can messenger you, you always respond. And you said they can call you. What number would you like them to have for you?
Well, let them email me on, it's called Primetime Training Group. Tell them to send me a message and I'll respond to them.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Good. So thank you, Joe, for today. And we'll try to get together every Thursday based on what works out for you. And
All right, sounds good.
You have a great day. I appreciate you.
All right.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter too.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.